Hey, how's everything, huh? All right, welcome to Established. It's been a pretty cool summer. Um, been doing a bunch of stuff. It's been beautiful outside, and we've been enjoying uh, this heat. I'd like to thank everyone that watches at least one episode, huh? And then also I'd like to give a shout out to Manguaki. As I'm wearing this shirt, pretty cool. If you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. It's the best. It's a great show, and I hope that you guys, you know, take the initiative to try to watch it because you know, support Dominican, support Hispanic, Latino film, and it's a bunch of stuff like this. So I'm gonna talk about a bunch of stuff that happened during the summer. It's been 2 weeks, but one, I've been swimming a lot. All right, I've been to the beach a few times. If you notice by it, well, you probably won't be able to tell, but through the season, throughout the few weeks, I've been going to several beaches in Connecticut. There's a few beaches in Bridgeport, and there's a beach in Bridgeport. There's a beach in New London. There's lakes in Danbury. There's lakes in Shelton. There's lakes everywhere in Connecticut. So I hope that you guys, if you ever get a chance by the end of the summer, go go get yourself a trip. Go get yourself a swim trip to the beach. I am drinking seltzer water today because I've been drinking a lot the last few weeks, and I'm kind of tired of drinking. So yeah, we're like rehabbing, right? Which is good. A few shots of seltzer water doesn't kill. But we've had great summer weather. The heat has been strong. Um, I don't know how you guys been, but if you've been trying to save money, you've been trying to do something not to. Have you been trying not to spend the money? It's been almost impossible because of all the expensive and everything that's expensive out there. And with relationships, it's been pretty crazy. You go dating, it's kind of more difficult every year, but it's okay. It should be because you're getting more picky, kind of, and you kind of know what you need to do. But I think this is going to be the episode where I want to just reflect on 6 7 months already of the year and the turnaround and gearing up to a fall and figuring out what you're going to do next. Because there's so many things that you can do towards the to Christmas. One thing is don't go crazy spending any money, but that's something we'll discuss. And also, you know, just spending too much time by yourself, is it healthy? You know. With that said, I'm gonna move on, and I'm gonna go after this whole intro, and I'm gonna continue talking about spending time with yourself and what does it take to have peace of mind, and does it work? Does it help? So after this little short established intro, we'll get right back to you. So welcome, and we'll come right back in a second. All right, welcome back to Established. I'm your host Rob D, and I'm here just giving you a bit an update on everything that I've been doing the last few months and things that that you can do to enjoy your time alone. And if you don't be afraid to be alone because most of the time you're gonna be alone because you either work with the kids. Uh, so this is the episode. This is the how to survive being alone episode. The first thing I have to say is that I had diarrhea from cooking some crazy shit. I don't think I cooked the beans right. I'm gonna blame the beans. So it gave me explosive diarrhea, and the last few days I've been just on a journey. So I'm drinking seltzer water to see if that cures the ailment. But we'll go right back to it. Of course, it's established. I'm Rob D, and you're at the backyard of my house, and it's a beautiful day, sunny. On the weekday, I took a vacation. I'm on vacation, so I'm taking this moment to discuss a few things, but mostly on being alone, being single, being what is it? What happens when there's not much to do and you need to continue living, right? Everybody is caught up with bills, debts, and time. Time is flying. But what happens if you figure it out and you don't have to worry about anything else but yourself and like your debts? Well, I'm on that section of life already. This is my episode where I'll discuss being alone, just relaxing, and figuring out what is important and if it's worth it. If it's worth being alone the whole day, the entire day. Of course, I'm going to say that you're not alone the entire day unless you want to be. You can call people. You have friends, you have neighbors, you have people around you that you can discuss stuff with. Because if you're going to find out that you're not the only one that's alone, and that you're doing everything as possible to make it look like it's a normal life. And I'm gonna tell you this: we're normalizing being alone because just like everything else in the world, you just got to continue living and finding a purpose. You're always going to find yourself busy doing something, and it's work. You could focus on work, and then after work, you get out and you focus on doing something with the finances. You find out that you don't want to go clubbing every weekend. You don't want to go out every weekend. You can't afford it because it just doesn't make sense. Sometimes you go out and with a few people and you go over your budget, and sometimes you invite people and when they come over you go over your budget. Sometimes you don't want to go with people but you turn out to go. They just call you up. You're like, you know what, I don't want to spend 2 hours alone, and you might go over your budget. So how much over your budget can you live before you're like, I can't afford this? Well, there's a number, and that's when you have nothing else in the bank account, right? So you got to be careful when you reach zero, because if there's nothing in the bank account, you're not going to eat, you're not going to survive. You have to make sure that no matter how much fun you're having, make room for those bills and make room for everything else. And if not, plan ahead. Figure out how to survive. There's food is expensive, everything is expensive. So it isn't like you're just going to be able to just enjoy the day and do nothing all day. So working, when you have so much free time and you're alone, one of the things is just keeping yourself busy by working and figuring out, is it what kind of job you do. If you love your job, then focus more on your job. If you want to move up, this is your time because you have so much free time. And if you feel like the job is not worth it, maybe you can now, peruse into something else and enjoy that, because you never know. I would say you don't need to work harder. You don't need to, when you have free time, it's like retirement right now, where you wake up and there's nothing to do. You just have to clean the house, make sure that everything is in order. I mean, if you have bills, you could pay some bills. But if you don't feel like paying bills, then you just have to sit down and just not do anything. Just watch TV or just watch this, watch something. But don't invest. Don't go out there and try to make more money. Not with your money. And one of the things people do is that when they have extra money, they try to invest and make more money. And this is the time where it's everything expensive. You try to buy a car and the cars are way overpriced. You're trying to buy a house and the houses are way overpriced because taxes are crazy. So why are you going to try to invest when you're not going to get much in return? When you have a lot of free time, you think about, what if 10 years from now I'm still with all this free time? Oh, look, I put the plant and it's coming to say hi. And what are you gonna do for what you gonna do with your free time? And if it's worth it, just spending all the money that you have on stuff that you think might be useful. do not go out there like I'm gonna tell you. I want to I want to produce a movie. I want to direct a movie, and I have to buy a camera. I decided I need a camera. Well, the thing with the camera is that I want to invest in a good camera. It's not that much money, $1,600, but at the moment, I just have to be patient. So I was supposed to make this movie this summer, but I'm gonna leave it for next year, just because I want to make sure that I am financially stable enough that I can make the movie. It's a short film, and it's just to kill time pretty much, but also to do something as an artist. You can, you get to challenge yourself, and that is the goal: is to spend that free time you have on challenging yourself. You never know when you're gonna have an opportunity to do something else. A lot of people, you want to go into business. You start a business, and sometimes it doesn't work. You're not going to be a millionaire overnight. It takes a lot of luck, pressure, and dedication. And you can't multitask if you have a family to dedicate everything to a business. So, like, if you want to be a baker, you always want to bake cookies. First, do the research and find out if it's worth it selling cookies around your neighborhood. Um, Anything you do, just do some research and make sure that it is worth the time. I spend most of my time at the gym, right, and working out. So my free time, I spend it relaxing, making sure that I'm happy with myself and what is going on in my life, and appreciate that you're alive and that you're supporting family members and you're doing things for your kids. If you have children, through child support, you can help them, because you don't want to be a deadbeat dad. And if you're a guy in my situation, you have kids, you definitely want to provide help. My son, well, Robbie, one of them, he passed the driving test, right, and he came over a few weeks. He took classes throughout the summer, and last week he passed the test. And it's a joy watching your son, watching your family member be successful at one point, and then now his next journey is to be in school, right? Starts college now, graduated from high school, going into college in a week. And as we film this, I am preparing to fix my second car so I could lend it to him, because I cannot give it to him, as it is way too expensive to give some 17-year-old a car. This leaf is because of the wind is so feels so good this wind, and it's refreshing, and it's coming because it was like 98 degrees the last few weeks, and I'm under a canopy, which is keeping me nice and cool in this hot weather. It should be like 90 degrees, except I'm in Seymour and it's nice and fresh, and everything around here is cool. So one another thing is with age, which is not cool, is freaking pain. The stretching. Like, I exercise every day, but I'm in so much pain trying to stay fit, and the amount of time I spend without eating is ridiculous. I feel like I don't eat enough. Oh man, the bugs are gonna kill me again. um you want to eat, but you can't eat as much. I stop eating after 7. From 7 to 12, I don't eat jack, and I still weigh over 174 pounds. Kind of starving. You eat as good as, you eat the salads, you eat leaves, you take a shot of anything you have around you, and uh, you eat it. The bugs, if you find them, try to chew on them. Sometimes they look disgusting. Don't eat the bugs. It's true. It's a joke. Don't eat the bugs. But the journey of being alone, of just trying to figure out, is that what things you don't want. Right? You don't want any problems. If you know you're at the moment where you can't afford to raise a family, now you can't afford it. It's just that it's not in your interest to have 4 kids from baby from somebody else. Even though she's wonderful, she has 3 kids. You don't want to put that on your program, because it's not easy to raise 4 kids that are not yours, especially if they're grown and you at an age where you actually don't want to invest in crazy stuff, but you don't want to lose your time. Um, I know it's horrible. Like, there's single ladies. You have 3 kids and you're working hard, and you're like, this is there's so much I can do for you, but sometimes it's not easy for a guy to go in and just, you have a busy life, and we're gonna go in there, and we're gonna be part of your busy life. When somebody like me has pretty much the whole day to do nothing, and when I do something, it's because I love it, and it comes out of my insides to want to do it. So throw out the garbage, clean the building. Uh, if I own property, so you gotta like, clean, maintain your property, your cars, clean them if you can, take them to the mechanic. At work, you focus at work. You make sure you dress, and then with food, you just feed yourself. And then the other thing is worries about extra things like baby mamas and stuff. You don't have to worry about any of that. Your mother's at one point, your exes are at one point gone. So at this stage of my life, I don't have to worry about nothing except myself. So it's a bit more complicated because I'm at the age where I'm at complete inner peace, and it's not easy. I create lo-fi music because I like it. It's so chill, peaceful, and that's the joy. Watching things grow, kids grow, plant grow. Being in a creating a podcast to not to make fun, but to show that there is a side of a human being where you don't have to be in a relationship to be happy. And of course, if you are in a relationship, that is amazing. God bless, because relationships are great. It's good. It's good to be with somebody and wake up and say, "How you doing? Good morning, babe," or "Honey." But when you're alone and you're in a situation where you don't want to put yourself in a predicament because you definitely know that you're not ready, or that you're ready but you're not. There's certain people that you don't think in the mix. You tend to stay single a bit longer for that reason. Will I find somebody? Maybe. Not in a rush. You try, you meet, and it's great. Uh, but if you don't, there's no rush to that, because it's the beauty of living. It's the wonder of waking up. There's no stress, and then you get used to it, because the stress that you have is nothing compared to the one you can get, and that becomes an issue because you feel like this. It's kind of like a battle. Like you wake up and someone gives you attitude. They don't give you attitude. It's that you're not used to it anymore, because you wake up and it's just you and the birds chirping. It's like Cinderella, and she's in that forest singing like a champ. So I am just singing like a champ. That bringing being a champ, you get to figure out that, like I said, I went into, from the last episode, if you didn't see it, where I started not spending as much money. I started not buying stuff. I haven't bought anything in the last 2 months. In the month, right? 3 weeks. I don't plan on buying anything anytime soon. I don't need anything. It's not because you're cheap. It's just because you figure out that you don't need much to live. Even with investments, how much money do you need? How much money do you want? All right, it probably doesn't matter. What only matters is that if you're happy, and if you're happy with making minimum money, just spending more time on vacations, free, without stress. I'm in that situation where I don't work as much, because thanks to my job, I've been there long enough. I could take enough vacations that I can do this, but economically, there's its burden, but it's not as bad, because you're not spending money when I leave the house. I don't have to worry. I can stay home, watch a movie, read a book, study, figure something else out. But if you don't feel like you need to do stuff in your life, and you don't want to miss out, then it gets more complicated as you figure out that missing out. Uh, Most people, it's not that you're missing out, is that your environment, you need that environment to keep you alive, make you happy. But once you find out that you love the people you're with, but you don't have to be around everybody every time, and that you can live a normal, comfortable life saying hi and goodbye through a phone, texting, making sure everybody, you could visit if you can, but there's a point where the peace is inside, and you just want everybody to be happy and chill. So you don't have to be in people's face. You're not missing out on anything. I went to the beach a few days ago. Worked on my tan, and I just stay there and just stare at the ocean for hours, 3 hours actually. Got home, ate, went to sleep, and worked out. Hit the gym, do push-ups, sit-ups, all this, jog, sweat, because you need to you got to put your body to work. But in all that, it's not where the money's not, the time is not wasted when you're not doing much. Especially if you don't feel like spending money, you know, you could spend money if you want, but you could text, you could talk, you could meet people, and of course there's a sexual aspect to it, right? You're like, well, you need a girl, you need somebody to be with physically, right? And it's true, you do. But there's the pros and cons of physical attraction. You just, whatever time you spend with someone physically, during sex, there's also that connection that you have to continue. It's not like you just have it and someone leaves you. You got to dedicate time to that person. You got to be with that person. You got to want to be with that person, because that's kind of offensive if you don't. So when you feel like you need, to unleash and to, do something with someone, and you're missing it, you have to understand that there's consequences to it, or there's a responsibility to that. And if you don't take it seriously, you can end up having kids, disease, or in a predicament where you're in a relationship but you don't really know that you should be in it, and. But if you find somebody you like, and that you find somebody that is economically viable, they care for you, um, you both are happy with each other, you make enough income that both of you are happy. It doesn't matter how much the next person is making, that the income between both is good, and then you understand each other, you care for each other, and finally, if 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 it's in the best interest for both to be together, just in the same house, to grow together for the future, because in the end, this is all about what we're doing right now that is going to make it better for us in the future, and we're going to enjoy each other, and then never forget that you have to enjoy each other. So that's the part that when you're alone, you appreciate the small stuff, and the details counts, and then you want to see anyone that can make sure that those details in life, you could keep them and prolong them as long as possible. So a good morning, how you doing, are you hungry, are you tired, are you sick, um, you know what are we going to do tonight, just quiet, just hold each other's hands, stuff like that. And then always comes the bills and stuff, and because you have a bond, a relationship that goes past the economic and the finance, it's worth being in a relationship. For that reason, you don't really discuss the finances as much, because you make sure that you know already what the finances are. You separate accounts, you put money into each other's account, and you make sure that one person who doesn't have enough, it's both together. The money's together at the end; it should be together, so it works. But it's very difficult to bring in a person to your life if they have 3 kids, and the finances. Most of the people, most women that I meet, the dads are not there financially, because that's COVID for you. Post pandemic, mothers are not receiving enough finances because the ex husband, is not making the money, giving her the stress, and then the stress, you got to hear it, like, and then it kind of ruins it. So for that reason, you got to be careful. You got to be careful what you do. I'm looking at a few clouds. In front of me. I'm just choking on soda. I see a beautiful cloud. It looks like a thundercat. I've never seen a thundercat. There's a cloud in front of me that looks just like excuse me, looks just like a thundercat. I don't know if you can hear me well, but I'm hoping you do, because the camera is hidden somewhere. Shout out to Carlos, because Carlos Hathaway Films is creating the second version of Manguaki. Shout out. I hope that success, and that when you start making this, support him. The funds are key. He probably has like about $2,000, but he needs way more. Help him. Let's help him. Um, what I've been doing, I've been studying music. I've been looking at film. I have so much free time that this week coming up, DJing tomorrow, DJing a graduation on a Wednesday. Not sure what type of graduation in the middle of the beginning of August is, but it's like it's probably strange. I'll give you info on that after the fact, but it's August, and it's the first week of August, of course, baseball season. In case if I messed up, the baseball season is in, and the Yankees suck balls, so do the Mets. You know, so it's a graduation. I'm DJing. They said to put background music. I don't know what background music is yet, but I'm doing research, and I'm great at lo-fi. Whatever BPM, 95 BPM, I guess. Whatever is good. I'm gonna Weekend, Ariana Grande, stuff like that. I'll figure it out. But I'm DJing that, and then I'm DJing an event, the Flawless Barbecue event. Looking forward to that. Looks like it's fun. I'm gonna get to fly my drone. I have a little drone. I'm fly that baby up and down, and see how that works. You never know. You might hit somebody. You might hit like a light post. Or might hit like an electrical wire. But hey, it's worth a try. It's flying a drone that counts. When you fly a drone, you look amazing. You look like a champ. And it's a pretty cool drone, 4K. Hopefully, I capture good videos, take good pictures, and of course, I DJ. I'm gonna DJ. I got this whole set. It's gonna be fun. So I hope you guys can make it August 6th. It's in West Haven. I could put the link at the bottom if you want to, if you could go. But I'm pretty sure that if you don't live in Connecticut, you do not give a crap. So I'm just gonna say I'm DJing somewhere in West Haven, Connecticut, and it's gonna be a barbershop, and it's gonna be great. And shout outs to Ant Flawless, for wanting to do this, because he is determined, and he is looking to give thanks to all his customers, supporters, people that because it's not easy doing it alone. And when you have anyone that wants to participate and wants to be part of your life and wants to, businesses are tough, especially when the business is all on you. Most people have a 9 to 5 for that reason, because you don't have responsibilities. But let's say you own a business, and like Flawless is a barber, and he, if he doesn't work that whole week, he doesn't get paid. There's no money coming in. There's no check. If he breaks his leg, that's it. If his back is hurting, he still has to take care of business, because he has nobody. So you have your own business, and you're working harder than if you had, working 9 to 5 for like the government, or working at, Haagen-Dazs, or just bump it if you're working for Blimpies, right? Or Subways, and you feel like life is crap because you're working, you're not getting paid as much. Think about the responsibilities that you have when you have your own business. Of course, if you're determined and you feel like doing your own thing, then do it. It's a great thing. I just watched a movie called Hostile, which is pretty crazy. It's about back as a Western, 1894, when cowboys and Indians, and the way Indians were portrayed, right? And how white America did not accept Indians and try to kill them, and Indians, vice versa, killed a lot of Americans, Caucasians, of course, and they created a strong rift among the country, throughout the country. Hostile, great movie. Christopher, the guy from Batman, he's in it. Just like the guy from Marvel Comics. There's about 5 great actors. I forgot the names because it's just a blur right now. But the movie, it felt impacted me just because of the hate. And then in the end, it was solved because a 3-hour movie, you have to find an understanding eventually. So all that hate, altercations, war, people killing kids, Indians killing kids, people killing, Indians, um, and how eventually you see through the eyes of who you're fighting and see their reason and their logic, and then you find peace in yourself, and you feel horrible for for committing heinous crimes and deaths and killing and causing so much turmoil in people's lives just because you didn't take a time, even though at that moment when you're at war you don't really care. But as you think it through, you find what's the purpose, what is the reason, um, why are they upset. No one ever asks why they're upset. You just worried about your agenda and what is your reason to fight back. Another thing I like to bring up quickly because it's just random to my head. A lot of people lately have been criticizing and been against like the transgenders and lesbians and everything. Anybody similar sex, opposing sex. I honestly, it's more difficult to classify. The him, her. Respectfully, it's a little bit complicated. But when it comes to people just saying you're going to go to hell for your belief and your that's this country. I want people that watch this to understand that if you have a child, you have a family member, make sure that they feel loved, that you're not, that they're appreciated. There's a lot, there's nothing wrong with loving your own sex, identifying as anything, him, her, them. There's nothing wrong with being different. It is amazing, and it's a generation where sexuality preferences have broadened, and it gives people more opportunity to be themselves. And even if you don't know, and you're trying to find out, then good for you. If you do know, if you're not gay, if you're not if you're straight, man or woman, then good for you. You just keep on chucking. Don't stress it. Your life is your life. Just live your life and don't condemn anybody else because there's no need for that. And then, we have the the part where I want to just bring it all around where you're single and you're seeing so many different things that they're beautiful. You're opening up your eyes and seeing the hate, the love, people antagonize, people feeling a certain way for different people loving and being in a state where it's pretty black and white here. They make it real. They keep it real here. In many places here that they either accept it or not. Color, religion, sexual orientation. There's not Connecticut in most sections I've seen. Identifying is not. It's not. It's not. It's frowned upon. They're like, fuck off. You suck. But that's probably because everybody has a conservative idea. But not only that, but they don't have time to stress. Right? You're so busy. You have 15 kids. You have a house that's breaking apart. You have a squirrel that's eating all your furniture. You never know, and that could create havoc in your life. So I would say if you're having, if you're in a environment where you feel like it's getting hostile, that's different. You could try to move on, but it's more difficult because I heard that's so expensive. I just was looking into uh like rental and renting an apartment for my brother, and I was like in New York City right now, rental is like $2,700 a month, 3,200 for like a 2 3 bedroom. It's like $1,000 per room now. Pretty much that's the number, and that's crazy. And he lives in New London, and that section it's not as expensive, but I know the wave is coming and it'll be expensive. I'm in the middle, so we're already feeling that influx. Where the price of rent has increased, and it's getting expensive for everybody. So that's a tough one. I I like to end this episode by telling everyone, feel comfortable with yourself. Enjoy being alone. Respect yourself and believe in yourself enough that you can be alone as long as you can without worrying about anything else. And you're gonna have plenty of problems in your life that are gonna come up, especially if you're a mother where you have kids to worry about, finances, and you're living with the help of family members and friends that are, someone takes care of your kid, your sister takes care of your kid, your mom takes care of your kids, and you feel like it's embarrassing, but you don't have a choice. Just keep on trucking. But remember, when you're having all these problems, well, not problems, but just you're busy with all these situations. It's going to be difficult getting a good man because they, not a good man, but just someone that has free time to dedicate. Because unless you get a guy that needs you, which means he doesn't work and he'll take care of the kids, he understands you more than anything else because of your situation in life. I don't know how long that'll last. Because once that guy gets tired, not gonna help out. Just like guys, if you don't want to pay child support, and you're thinking to find another woman, you're gonna lie to that woman, make her have another child, or you're gonna be just that guy that doesn't care. You don't take care of yourself. You don't clean yourself. You don't. You're losing. You gotta take care of yourself. Make sure you set the foundation before you go out there and try to find somebody. With that said, I thank you. Shout out to everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Stay established, and let's keep it going. Summer's not over. August 1st, right? It's on the first week of August, and we still have a month to go. Everybody's getting ready for fall. All those fall people, all those Leos, congratulations for a wonderful month. It's beautiful out, and it's been hot, but now I think we're getting towards cool weather coming up. So hopefully I catch you one more time before the weather changes, and I do it from a place maybe in Bridgeport in Seaside where I tend to like going to the lake now because I have a ticket that lets me go in and for free. But with that said, thank you and enjoy. Have a great week. Be safe.